week. But if I was as good as Tyler, I'd do the same thing. I would. Yeah. Or if I had a boat, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I think that's freaking cool that the guy went from working 80 hours a week, never seeing his daughter, to now he sees his daughter every day, like all the time. Like takes her to school, picks her up from school, has bath time with her, reads to her before bed, and still has doubled. I'd say I dare to say tripled his income from the 70, 80,000 he was making at the fish house. It took him 18 months to get good at this. But if it took you 18 months to get good at this, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? I don't know. You have to answer that question for yourself. I need some help though. Okay. Throw a one in the chat if you work mortgage protection analog leads like mail-ins, call-ins, and obviously the bonus leads that go with them. Okay. All right. Bring them out. Bring them out. Okay. Do you guys feel like it would throw a five in the chat if you feel like it would help you in your journey if you had maybe 5 to 10 different voices, meaning Tyler runs appointments a little bit different than I do. I run appointments a little bit different than Devin does, a little bit different than Gil does, than Tristan does, than Gino does, than Aaron does. We're all a little bit different on that, right? If you could hear maybe like if you were able to go in and hear a recording on repeat as often as you wanted to of Gil going, running an appointment and writing an app on a 72-year-old widow, and then Devin helping a 28-year-old married couple, and then Christy Brown helping a 54-year-old dad of three that are in college. Like if you were able to sit down and you knew that, hey, obviously a couple of these things are different, right? Like Christy puts this is there, but they all say the same things, just in different orders, I guess you could say. It's like their voice coming out, right? They're being genuinely themselves. They're not robotic with it. A lot of us are still robotic with our script, which is why people, you know, don't work with us as much as we'd like for them to. You guys throw a five in the chat if you think that would help your game, and if you think that would help you build your agency. you know, of, well, Amy, I don't know how to run this appointment. Can you help? All I got is this script. Okay, well, here's the script, and there's 17 different recordings of people doing it. You know, tell me again how you feel uncomfortable doing it. You're gonna feel uncomfortable regardless. Okay, I could run the appointment for you, and you feel uncomfortable. Like it's just part of it. It's new. New brings discomfort. Like it just does. Okay, guys, it took me 2.5 weeks to go get my direct deposit form from the bank because I'd never walked in a bank before, apparently. Apparently I hadn't, right? But I was just terrified. And Devin was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I was like, "I don't." So here's what I need is I need some volunteers. Throw a 10 in the chat if you've ever had a 5K week. Not talking warm market here. I'm talking 10K from leads. I'm talking 5K from leads. I don't know if you guys know this, but we got a two-time top producer on the call. Two-time. I'm also a two-time, neither here nor there, neither here nor there, but we have a certified two-time top producer on the call. Okay. Big deal. Big deal. It's Devin Johnson, by the way. Whoever threw tens in the chat, okay, preferably like 5 apps for 5,000, like not, oh, I sat with this one family and they're spending $725 a month. I saved them $100 a month. It was the easy one. Like somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. Is that fair? Can we just be clear on that? Like, text me privately. If you don't have my number, just click the invite button. My phone number is the Zoom chat. If you guys haven't figured that out yet, then what are you going to do? But I want to get some recordings of you guys running appointments. Okay. I'm going to have Chelsea Cole edit those down and I'm going to post them so that everybody can get a little bit better. All right. That fair. I've already got some recorded. Tyler's going to do some. I already know I've got 2 people doing them. But I would love I'm thinking like Brittany Zimick, Gil, Jasmine. And if I didn't call your name, I'm sorry. Okay, but I would appreciate those. I personally would. Okay, I personally would. Um, don't have a ton to talk about this morning. Okay, we were supposed to have Kip. We are going to talk about referrals, and I wanted to see if DJ might be on daddy duty. So we'll go to Preston. DJ, if you're not on daddy duty, unmute for me. But if you are, I get it. Okay, I know you got a full plate. Preston, you out there, buddy?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
I feel like we haven't heard from you in quite a while. And I'm gonna go to you first, and then I'm gonna go to DJ second. So you can leave him 3 minutes or 15 minutes. I don't really care. Okay, it's up to you. I trust your discretion on that. You guys are just some car lot fellas that came in here and decided to win, right? But I'm curious for, let me see here. Uh-huh. Sorry, still figuring out Zoom. For you, Preston, what was the hardest part about learning how to be consistently good versus occasionally great on production? Like obviously you got bills to pay. You had a skill set before you came in here. Like was this hard for you to learn? Was it a piece of cake? Like what was it for you as somebody that had a lot of skill?
So I think it really boils down to someone's willingness to be coachable. Because yes, I came in with a skill set, but the skill set I had didn't translate well to this right away. I almost believe that somebody's lack of a sales background, but having a people background is going to translate better here. Because there were so many things like I had to unlearn coming from selling an actual product to consulting with someone and becoming a really good question asker to help them find peace of mind. So the consistency for me was first being willing to be coached. My mentality coming in here was, these scripts and things, these are awesome. I don't need these though. I've already got the skills. I'm going to crush this thing. I don't need to follow I can do this my way. I'm going to be great. And what happened was I sucked. I know it's hard for people to believe, but I was really bad at this when I started. And the game changer for me, which allowed me to become more consistent, first off, you're not just going to get better by accident. You got to be intentional. And that starts with putting in activity and knowing, like, tracking your numbers, knowing what the data shows as opposed to what your emotion, what you think of there. But my willingness to get uncomfortable and record myself
Hmm.
and being able to go back and listen to that and say, man, this guy sounds like a jerk. That's not how I sound, is it? And it just hits you right in the face there because nobody likes to hear the sound of their own voice, but we talk about all the time, like you got to get uncomfortable to grow. So being willing to do that and go back and listen, make the tweaks and adjustments. And another big thing, Luke, for me was that um, you got to show up consistently every appointment. It doesn't matter whether you're sitting with people in their 20s or in their 70s. You can't just shoot from the hip every single time and try to improvise. That's not going to work too well. You got to have a system in place. Have your questions that you're going to ask set up. Know how you're going to start your appointment every single time. It. And if you're doing mortgage protection, one of the most important questions to ask is, how long have you guys been in the home? That tells you a lot. And people love to talk about themselves, but whatever your questions are for you, be consistent about it. Because the more consistent you become, the more you develop a routine for your appointments, the less that you have to think about what you're saying, and you can be actively present with what they're responding. And that's going to allow you to navigate through each conversation where you can be thinking ahead of what questions, like what's the next question I'm going to be asking them based on their response. But the less that you commit to a routine, the more you're going to be all over the place in the appointment. And all of a sudden, you're listening to, like, they're responding to you and they're giving you something to grab a hold of and run with. And you're just so focused on what to say next that you completely miss it.
Hmm.
Going back and listening to recordings of some of my agents, and I'm just going through and like, man, they just gave you an olive tree or whatever they call it. So they just gave you a handout there, and you just pass by it to the next question in the script there. So I think it's, we talk about all the time, having enough activity, having enough at bats. Something we haven't talked about in a while is like get to 100 sits as quick as possible. Track your numbers, get there as quick as you can, because not every appointment's going to be an app, but every appointment we can learn from in some way, shape, or form. So take the time to reflect, talk with your mentor, recap your appointments, but don't, if you're dwelling on like, well, I could have done better in this one appointment, it's probably because you don't have enough appointments on the books.
Hmm.
So track the numbers, trust the activity, know what the metrics are. And know what the metrics are, and then obviously you're going to know what your metrics are. The more that you're tracking, the more consistent that you are. But you get to a point where you have such a routine developed that you can just be so present with your client, and you throw the script out the window and you have a conversation. That's what I got, Luke.
That's it. That is so freaking good. I was thinking about last night. I think about this stuff all the time, Preston. And you hit the nail. Like your thought right there was exactly what I was thinking about last night as I was laying in bed. I was like, man, why do people miss it? Why do people miss it? And that's gonna be my question for you, DJ, here in just a sec. But like, it's that thing that you just said, Preston. It's like I've got to think about what I got to say next instead of just being like in the moment, like with the family. Like I was listening to a recording of the night. I was like, that was it. Like you missed it. It was right there. It was right there. Hey, go back. Did you hear them say that, or were you thinking about what do I say next? How do I not think about what I say next? Like, well, do you think about what comes next in a Morgan Wallen song? Probably not. Like you know it. Like it's just there. Whether it starts at the front, Devin Nicola, or whether it starts at the back of the song or in the middle. You know what comes next. Tell me I'm wrong. Your favorite song, you freaking know what comes next. Like I can quote movies that have no benefit to my bank account. Like can quote them off the top. Like yesterday, I was singing a song while I was feeding JJ. You're gonna love this, James Butler. And all of a sudden, I just started humming a song. And she said, I said, how you know where that comes from? She said, where? I said, it's from this scene, in Remember the Titans. I ain't seen Remember the Titans in 10 years. Haven't heard the song in 15 years, but knew exactly where it was. Why is that? Because I've seen it 1,000 freaking times. You guys follow me on this? Do you know your script that well? And if not, then why not? My God, like, who cares if you freaking suck for a while? You're gonna. Like, um, we can either choose to do the hard work now or like live in regret forever. Honestly, like that's just the fact of the matter. Now, Devin, if I had to guess, you probably got over 500 op credentials. Well over 500
I
with
looked at it yesterday. It's like right at 700.
right at 700 op credentials. Over 700 people have been hired into Devin Johnson's organization. I think possibly, maybe just a small chance, Jasmine Schill, this guy might know something about why people win and why they don't. Okay. And I promise you, it ain't like he's a big factor in that, but he's not the factor, right? He just notices. And I tell you, he watches everything. I get text messages about stuff I'd never even freaking thought about. And he's like, hey, you need to check on this, this, and this. I'm like, oh, man, thanks. I missed that. Devin, for you, what you've seen in your, was it 7 year, 10 year here?
Yeah.
Why do people win? Because you've seen hot, like there was people that should have hit AO way before I did. They ain't even here.
No, yeah.
Like, why is it? And why do people hit AO and why do people not? Like, you got
Luke,
any
I just want to say, I had an hour drive to Lumberton yesterday and an hour back. So I listened to 2 hours of John Whitmore. Do you really want me speaking in these last 8 minutes?
Yes, please. Yes. Everybody up here has heard John Whitmore before, and if they haven't, then
I have 2 hours of John Whitmore yesterday, and so let's do something. Luke, you're gonna love this. Put in the chat your raise your hand right now. Just hands raised if you ran production this week. You ran production, you made dials, you booked appointments. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. I want to see class participation. If you're not participating in this class, there's no need to be on it. Yeah, we already lost one. I see my screen move. That means somebody dropped. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe y'all raising hands. All right. Now that I know that you participated, now in the chat, put how many sits you had this week. Let's do it quick. Let's do it quick. We don't have a lot of time. Let's do it quick. How many sits did you have this week? Let's get those numbers of sits. Let's get those numbers of sits. Let's keep filling them. Luke's probably knows where I'm going here.
I do. Yeah.
Now, what I want to recognize is this: as these sits are coming in, How many have we saw over 10? I only see one. Don't lie that now that my hand has been shown. Show me. Let's look at the sits. And this isn't to call anyone out, it's to call you up. If you feel embarrassed by your number, then make them better. Okay? That's simple as that. Okay? I never wanted to be embarrassed by Jordan Hunt. So I made sure I was never embarrassed by Jordan Hunt. Okay? And so Brittany Zimick, love it. 15 sits this week. Absolutely crushed it. Now put in the chat how much production you had this week. Okay? Let's put in the chat. Let's be brave. Let's stay with the process. Put in the chat how much production you had this week. And maybe I should have did like Luke did the other week. Was like, hey, comment on your own post, makes it easier, whatever the case may be. But I can tell you that if anyone on this call is looking at your numbers and judging you, F them. Because number one, they ain't getting no money themselves. Or number two, they ain't winning like me and Luke, because I do not ever discourage somebody for low production. I want to encourage people to get more. Okay? I will never belittle you for little production as a guy that knows how to get it. I want to encourage you on how to get more, because the getting is good here. Okay? So if anyone's judging you of what you did this week, who cares? They won't be here in the next 6 months anyway. They'll have forgotten your name. All right. So here's the reality. I think all of you all can see the underlying factor here. We say we want one thing, but we're doing another. Like if I was to, like, were y'all on the national call yesterday? Right? Most of you should have been. Like I was here 7 years ago when if you wrote 40K, 50K, like I remember at conferences, they talked about how, Kevin Purdy wrote 50K in a month one time, and he was the greatest that our company had ever seen. Okay. And now it's like the monthly leaderboard starts at 50K, the top 10. Okay. And so like if we were to interview the top leaderboard right now, do any of you believe any of those people would say they had less than 10 sits this week? So I have nothing smart and fancy to say to you. You don't need to learn a new thing. You just need to do more of the thing we've already told you to daggone do. Okay? Now, once again, if this comes off a little harsh to you, maybe you need that. Okay? Maybe you need that to get to the next level. Finally get mad at something. You know what I learned about Luke? Luke worked the best when he was a little pissed off about something. That was when Luke showed his best. Maybe that's you, and you haven't discovered that yet. Get pissed off. Just do it. It's just a math equation, guys. That's all it is, dude. It's just a math equation. It's doing more of the input so you can get more of the output. I don't care where you have to find the business. Here's the biggest excuse is leads. The biggest excuse is leads. I don't have money for leads. I don't have money for leads. Do you understand that there are multi-billion-dollar publicly traded companies that do not have a single lead? How do you think that company was built? By the executives or by the producers? Anybody want to take a guess? Multi-billion-dollar publicly traded insurance companies right now have zero leads, crushing Symmetry and Quility, crushing us. It's because they ain't sitting around begging. I need a lead, James. Like, I'm sorry, James, I can't do that because I just don't have any leads, man. What? What? Okay, let's understand where the problem actually lies. It's you. You just don't want it bad enough. And that's okay. That's okay. You might not want the things that I want. I wanted it bad enough. It didn't matter. And so, like, that's the thing that I need all of you getting out of this call is to realize that it is nobody else's. Look, one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard. It doesn't matter whose fault it is, but it is your responsibility. So when you look at your numbers and you see your Sorry, I upgraded my phone last night and I'm getting so much going on and I've got like a bar something pop up. Hopefully I don't get kicked off this call. Okay. So
Good.
I had a random pop up there. But it doesn't matter whose fault it is that you did not have 10 sits. It doesn't matter whose fault it is that you did less than 5K or that you're not getting enough production to pay your bills, but it is your responsibility. Does everybody hear me on that? Okay. And this is the kind of tough love I needed when I came here because when I came here, I didn't come here to write production. I came here to be a leader. I came here to build a business. I don't find it a coincidence that the people that do come here and that's the mindset they have, production is never a problem. Ain't that right, Luke? I
Correct.
do not find it a coincidence that the people that come here to be a leader and to build a business, production is never an issue. But it's the people that say, oh, I just want to figure it out first. And then, I'll talk to some people. That's fine. But it's funny how those are the people that always struggle in production. It's just observations I've made over 750 people that's got an op credential and that I've talked to in this company. Okay? Just an observation I've made. You can take it however you may, but you can listen to what I have to say. And so that's what I have found, Luke, that I feel that just I'm sensing right now in the business that I'm seeing, that I'm paying attention to, and that the people that are getting it is these are the things that they're doing. They don't care where the lead comes from. They don't care who buys the insurance. They don't care if it's a waitress or a gas station attendant. Let me tell you something. Where my mind shifted, I've been in 100% commission sales for 12 years now. 12 years. It has been on me. I haven't made under 100 grand in a decade. Okay. It's been a long time. It's been half a decade since it's been under 200. And I want to say to you that one of my perspective shifts that I had in sales was when the greatest car salesman I'd ever met in my life, Tony Swindell, worked with me, Jordan, Gino, and Aaron, and Tristan. I was filling up a Corolla right down at the gas station, Luke. I was filling a Corolla up. He pulls up in a Toyota Sienna, and there was an out-of-state couple, old couple, at the gas station. He said, man, how y'all love that old Sienna? Just picked up a conversation with him. He had no idea that I was sitting there at those pumps. And I watched him get a napkin, take their name and number, and a week later he sold them a Sienna and had it shipped to him. Dog. Dog. Oh, and by the way, he was on kidney dialysis 2 days a week and ran circles around 32 salespeople on the sales floor. Just to make it abundantly clear, if you feel like your situation is, oh, Devin's got it easier, Luke's got it easier, James, Allison, Preston, all of you, you think someone has it easier? I've watched people that's had it harder do more than me. It's a fact of the reality. It's just about how bad do you want it? And it may not be symmetry that you want. That's okay. You need to figure that out. I do. I want it all, Luke. I want it all. So that's all I've been seeing, man. It boils down to how bad people really want it, the input they're putting in and expecting a greater output. Just doing the work.
Just doing the damn work. I wish it was more complicated than that, guys. I truly do. I wish there was that one thing. There ain't. It's just work. Y'all go have a great day. See you tomorrow.